Yes, we're back with Off the Track. Our guest today is Samwilliams. He's got no ability on top of a horse. We don't want to really know more about later on. But listen, one thing that you were enjoying was going to the sales. You went before I did. You went as a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I love going to sales. I actually regard the sales as sort of like my second home. Yeah. And I remember as a 15-year-old, I took my first yearling through the ring. And,
it would have been Trentham.
Yeah, Trentham days. And the old man and Tom, they were hoping for 40,000, and it was a Noble Bijou colt out of a mare called Corsage, and she was a half sister to Sandaray. Sandaray was she was a champion filly, won the Wakefield Stakes, the Kearney and the Oaks, and this colt made 170,000. And look, it's sort of the old man said, right, you're leading all the horses from now on.
Exciting times for you, exciting times. Hey, listen, leaving school, when you ultimately did, when the rugby they blew the whistle on your rugby career and you weren't going to turn professional, were you always going to go into horses?
Yeah, I believe so. When I left school, I went and worked for Cambridge Stud.
Gee, that's been a great founding.
Oh, look, it has, but it was actually quite interesting how I got the job there. I remember it was the last year at Trentham, and so it actually would have been, what's that, 90, was that 90,
87,
86,
87, yeah. 86,
yeah,
87,
and
yeah,
Sir Patrick, he was having a drink with his staff at the end of the sales, and he said, "Young Williams, come over here and have a drink with me and my team." And I politely replied, "Go and get nicked."
Yeah?
And ran around the corner. I don't know what.
How old were you?
Oh,
15, 16?
16.
Yeah.
Don't know what I was doing. Anyhow, went around the corner, grabbed the fire hose, came back round and drenched,
there's a bit of your father in you.
Drenched Patrick and the staff.
You are kidding.
So when I left school, the old man said, "Oh, you know, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Oh, I wouldn't mind a job working at Cambridge Stud." So he rang Patrick up. And Patrick said, "Yep, you can definitely send him here." And I'd been there for 2 weeks, and it goes across the walkie-talkie system, the big speaker system. Can Samwilliams come to the office? And Peter Stanaway and Laurie Lynch said, "You're in trouble, boy." So I walk in there, and Patrick calls me into the office. "Sit down." So I sit down, and I said, "Morning, boss." And because everyone calls Patrick boss. And he goes, "Do you remember what happened 4 or 5 years ago?" And I went, "Yes, boss." And he goes, "You're now mine for the next 12 months.
You would have learned a lot though, eh?
I had a fantastic time there,
yeah.
Really did.
You also worked at Fayette Park for a little while?
Yeah, I had a short stint at Fayette Park. Gary Mudgeway was there, and I really wanted to spend some time working with Mudge.
He'd been at Cambridge too.
Yeah, he had been. But I just wanted to learn more about stallions. And unfortunately, I had an accident while I was there.
With Omnicore?
Yeah, with Omnicore.
Savage you?
Oh, no, he didn't savage me.
No?
I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He and Touching Wood had been teasing one another. I went down and grabbed Omnicore, walked him
their
back.
tongues out at each other?
Yeah. And it was in the middle of the breeding season, and I've marched him up to the gate. Touching Wood's gone over to annoy Grosvenor. Grosvenor wouldn't have a bar of it. And then Touching Wood's come flying up to the corner where I've gone through the gate. I've literally taken my eye off him for a split second, and he's grabbed me. Yep. And he just tossed me around. So yeah, I learnt a big lesson very quickly.
Yeah. You went overseas as a result of that, take a bit of R&R?
Yeah, and that was really to work out whether I wanted to stay in the industry. Mm-hmm. Obviously to let my arm repair, and to make the decision, is this for me or not? And I did miss it.
Here's Sam signs off, here's you. They tell me you still do that with your tongue.
Yeah, so my staff remind me.
You're a good-looking young kid, weren't you? What went wrong, eh?
Oh, Katrina told me that too. I married her.
Hey, how did it all come about, Katrina? I mean, you were overseas, you come back 93, 94. Was it a bit before
I went
Katrina?
overseas to find a wife. Couldn't find one, so I had to come back and marry the local girl.
Yeah. Well, you're not into Pony Club. How'd you get into,
No, well, I'm not. The courtship, I'd known Katrina since we were 6.
Yeah. Was it always between the parents? Oh, they make a lovely couple.
Oh, yeah, especially Katrina's mum.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go there. But Katrina, she said, look, if you want me, you're going to have to chase me. And she went back to badminton, and it was her first trip over there. So me being me, yeah, I went over to badminton, and I'd never been to a 3-day event, and I thought, what the heck are you jumping these fences for? This is putting your life in your own hands. And yeah, look, that's where it eventuated. Yeah. But every now and then I'd go out and help Katrina school the horses, and the day she said yes, I never rode another horse.
Is that right? That was it. Hey, listen, you came back, the decision was made that Buzz and you, obviously, would go off and set up Little Lavender. About 94, 95, something like that?
No, 96, 97.
Okay.
The succession plan was done between Te Para and Little Lavender. And the family actually made the decision there in the kitchen at home, between Anna, George, myself, Buzz and Suze, that we wanted the farm to stay as one. Wanted it to stay there. And it also gave Mum and Dad a base as well. But it
you
also
split the mares and everything too, didn't you? Bar 3. There were 3 mares you didn't split.
That's correct. 3 mares and 3 racehorses.
Okay.
And so Tom took his wish list, which was the 3 mares. The 3 racehorses at the time, they all remained in a partnership. And Little Lavender went entirely in horses. Te Para went sheep, deer, beef, and the horses. And we had a share in a horse called Zabil. Yep. And at the time, the share was valued at $70,000. And I think that's Zabil and Centane really got us through. We've been shareholders in a lot of stallions over the time, and especially the relationship with the Chittick family, and we've had a lot of success here.
Hey, that's the thing, setting up as you were, the Fell boys, Mark Chittick, you became good mates as a result?
Yeah, no, we are good mates. Mark was my best man at my wedding, and likewise at his, and yeah, look, he's been a good friend. You know, I went through a bit of a hard time when Katrina had her accident, and Mark was there, and you know, Mark's had some bad times. So yeah, look, we've been good mates, but I think New Zealand in whole, you know, all the stud masters, we're all of a similar age, and we all get on really well with one another. Yeah,
you're the next generation coming through. Hey, listen, there was a mare you retained, a mare called Sound Lover. She proved to be very profitable for you.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, does Zabil go through the sales, made $470,000?
That's right. Philosoph. He was a beautiful looking yearling. Dean Hawthorne, Tony Pike wished they'd kept him a stallion. They said he would have raced with his been an entire. But yeah, he was a lovely horse, and yeah, Zabil and Sound Lover went on to produce another horse in Men at Work, trained by John O'Shea, who ran 3rd in the Metropolitan, was a multiple stakes winner. So yeah, she was a lovely. I did some
figures. Just on the New Zealand sales alone out of Sound Lover, on the New Zealand, and I know you sold others overseas out of here, 1.3 million. Not a bad return.
1.3?
Yep. On New Zealand sales alone.
Oh, New Zealand sales alone,
yeah. I left out the Australian ones. I didn't bother adding up those.
Try 2.
2 million.
2 million. Yeah. She had 10 to the races, 10 winners.
Yeah.
She's a great old mare. She's under service at the moment, at the age of 24.
24, you just keep going.
Yeah, and
she's like a cash flow machine for you.
She doesn't look it either. She's a beautiful looking mare. I've always compared her to Diamond Lover. Similar, just beautiful looking mares.
She was the one that you retained, though. She was sound reasonable. She could run herself, couldn't she?
Yeah, she won the Wilkinson Insurance Mile, Group 3. And she's got 3 daughters breeding for her today. Wrights a Springer, Stravinsky mare, Bellabachi, Zabil mare, and Savamore, a Savabeel mare. So I'd love to get a Perincano filly out of her.
Yeah, you mentioned you had shares in Centane, a share in Zabil. You've obviously taken shares in Pins, Zavabeel and others on the way. Your first stallion, though, was a horse called Carolingian.
Yeah, Carol was a Bletchley horse, and at the time, when I came home from overseas, Ollie Goodwin, Riddlesworth, was just on the other side of the river from Little Lavender. And I'm not sure if it was Ollie's social life wanting to come over and have a gin on a regular basis, or just to come over to annoy us. But look, he came over and he said to Buzz, you know, Sam, how do we keep him here? And I said, well, if you get a stallion, I'll stay. Because I did have intentions to go back to South Africa. And Ollie would turn up every second night with a different pedigree. And Carolingian turned up the pedigree on the table. So Buzz and Ollie went over, saw the horse and bought him.
He was moderately successful.
Yep.
To be fair, he left a horse called Iguazu though.
Yeah, Guasu, and she's very much to the fore today. And Sacred Fours, she's the grandmother of Sacred Fours. Guasu was tiny. She won 12 races, 9 at stakes level, 2 Group 3s. And Carolingian, the Group 3 she did win, the Manawatu Classic. He quinilled the race that year, but she was minute.
You got pretty good support though, looking at the result, looking at the foaling returns, and they got pretty good support over the years. You went out again and got another horse who turned out to be pretty successful, commercially, a horse called Tauke.
Yeah, Tauke, at the time we were shareholders in Dana Singer, and I'd seen the horse previously with Rick Wiley when I was doing a canvas for the New Zealand sales. And liked the horse. Once again, Bruce Perry said, look, I think the horse could be made available. And so Buzz, I'd already seen it, Buzz shot over and had a look. We bought the horse. We bought the horse in partnership with another friend, David and Victoria Duncan, Buzz and myself. And really the horse didn't get the numbers, which was a real shame. I think in his first 3 or 4 years, he averaged 32, 33 live foals. Which was
hardly commercial.
Yeah, it wasn't. But at that same time, every time he had a colt, it'd win a trial, they'd go to Hong Kong. And that's where he really developed his commercial ability in a niche market up there. And he was fortunate to get a horse by the name of Amada up there from his second crop, and 2 other horses from his first crop, one being Ambitious Owner, who won the Bayer Classic here and went up there and was placed in a Group 1 up there.
And that is the key too with that Asian market. If they follow trends, and if there's a sire that's doing a job up there, they just keep coming back for more.
Yeah, they do. Steve, he finished in the top 5 on the premiership up there on 4 occasions. And that's when he was standing at a service fee of about $3,000, $4,000, and that's on the international stage. So huge results for Tauke at the time. And look, he's had yearlings sell up to 200,000, or actually up to 260,000. He's been a great ready-to-run horse, but he's never been a horse to get big books. In saying that, he has always been a sub-fertile horse, but we've worked him out, and look, he's been a great horse for us.
Certainly has. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the role of Little Avondale is starting to continue on, starting to build. We're back with more after this break.